History Istongo. We're here at River Spirit Casino at the Muskogee Art Market, and I've got um, a elder from Osage Nation. He's Wajaji from Grey Horse, Mr. Marvin Stepson. He has a story for you guys. Turn it over to him.
About 2013 or 14, 15 maybe. As the narrator said, I'm from Fairfax. Was driving over to Hominy on Highway 20, and there's a place where the Highway 20, you go east and you kind of make a little curve, a gentle curve towards the southeast that goes down into a valley where there's a creek down there. And at that curve, there's a barbed wire fence and some trees, and that fence goes straight east. And I've driven that thing many, many times, and without thinking of anything, I just know the way, day and night. And I wasn't thinking of anything in particular, and something caught my eye, and I looked over and among the trees. It's almost right in front of me, and there I saw it. And it was what we would call a hairy man, a big, tall, maybe some people would call it Sasquatch, Bigfoot, a very, very large man, and I say man because I only saw it from the back, and had big broad shoulders and a head and neck. There's kind of one thing, and a bipedal. It wasn't walking, it was standing, and all covered in long, shaggy hair. And by the time I realized what I had seen, I was down the hill a little bit. I looked at my rearview mirror to see, kind of confirm what I had seen. And by then it was out of my view. So I went around and I kept on going. And I thought, well, did I see what I really saw or not? I just kept on going. And so every time I drive by there anymore, I look. Of course, I don't see anything, but that's very strange. And down in that valley, that creek valley, I've seen big cats. I've seen lots of things. And a friend who lives down in that valley, he's got a house down there. He hears strange noises and things like that. Big cats catching what this man has got at least for hunting. And they found a deer that had been covered up by dirt and leaves and stuff like that. That's what big cats do. And so that's the only time I've heard of things. That's the only time I think I've ever seen anything like that. And for years later, a friend of mine would come up and said, "Is it true?" I said, "What true?" He said, "You saw it?" I said, "I think I did. I'm sure I did." And I was watching something one time, and I read where people who see things like that often have doubts whether they really saw what they think they saw. And I had that doubt, since I've never seen it before. And they said, well, they appear when you're thinking about it. I wouldn't think about anything except driving. And we've got these stories among the Osage. We've got these hairy man stories, and I have a real strong, like a skunk-like smell about them. And my mom would say, "Oh, there is no such thing." They used to tell us that, us kids, that to where we'd come in at nighttime to scare us. I think if I was to see her today, I would tell her that I think I've seen that thing. And I'm curious. I would like to see another vision of that. See something else like that. Because when you're out in the woods, you're hunting and stuff like this, and sit down underneath a tree or a tree stand, and you don't know what you're going to see. Usually animals, and deer, stuff like that. But that's the first time I'd ever seen anything like that. I've never seen any big footprints or anything like any kind of strange hairs caught in the bushes, the trees, or anything like this. And they said, well, if they're there, we would find their remains. I know there are deer out there, but very rarely do you find the skeletal remains of a deer. It's really unusual, even cows and horses. But that's my story on that.
I want to say a hoe and a doe.
All right.